Hi everyone, this is Ara Derderian of the HT Guys, and what you are looking at are P215 speakers built by CSS Audio. This is the model that I bought the 215 speaker kit from CSS Audio a while back and built some made out of reclaimed wormy chestnut. There's a video on our YouTube channel. I'll try and put a link to that below and you can go check that out. But what CSS has done is they've sent me these speakers here to get a side view. It's just absolutely beautiful construction. They do such a beautiful job with the speakers themselves as well as the design of the drivers and the crossover. But I had asked them a question. They had two options available when I purchased mine. One for just the standard crossover, and then they also had a audiophile grade crossover which they build for you. The standard crossover I built myself, or I assembled myself. They're the ones who designed it. They provided a very easy mechanism to build and solder together. Again, you can go check out the video and I'll show you how I did that there. But so I did want to ask him, did the crossovers, the audiophile grade crossovers, did they make a big enough improvement in the audio quality that I would want to go and upgrade mine? It's easy enough for me to upgrade. I would pull the old ones out and put the new ones in. But anyway, so they sent me this setup. This is not typical of what you would build. This is a setup to make it easy to kind of A-B the setup. It's not a true A-B. You can listen to, on the left side here is the standard crossover, and on the right side is the audiophile version crossover. And what they've done, they've made it very easy to connect up the cables, and they've sent me the cables so I can do an A-B test. This is not something that they send to everyone, but they did send it to me so that I can take a listen and then give my feedback on the podcast. And so what I'm going to do is I'll set this up. I will play some music through it. I will record that. However, as I've said in many videos before, whatever I record on this microphone will not do it justice. So I will give you my impression, and hopefully you guys will believe what I say. But anyway, let's get this thing set up and put some music through it. Okay, I have it set up. Let's take a look. I'll zoom in. I am using the SVS Soundbase wireless. This is a great amplifier. I think it's a very high quality amplifier that should do these speakers justice. There I've got the left crossover set up there, and I've got the right crossover set up there. So let's go ahead and put this thing through its paces, and I'll be back to you as soon as I take a little listen. So I listened to a couple songs, and then I said, okay, as long as I got their speaker here, let me compare it to mine. Mine looks a little bit taller because it has some rubber feet on the bottom. You know, I was very pleased that my speakers sound just like theirs. So I was happy. One of those things when you build it, you always wonder, will I be able to build it as good as what they have done? From a sound perspective, I think I've done that. Their speaker is definitely more polished and just looks professional. Mine, while it does look very nice, it's rustic, there's flaws in it, and I'm the first one to admit that. But what I do like is that I built those. Again, we go back to that really old wood. And there is one thing that I'm going to say, it does seem to have a tiny bit more bass. I went back and forth to try and listen to it. It could be the way that I filled the cabinet, or again, it goes back to me saying that old wood may just have a resonance that you just can't replicate with the newer wood or a particle board or that kind of thing. And again, it could just be me just thinking I built it, so of course it sounds better. But regardless, all right, so that's, I had to do that test. Now I'm going to run the audiophile speakers, crossover, sorry. I just wish there was some way I could run this circuit into mine. I could do it, but it would just take a lot of modification, and I'm just not about to do that. But if the new one does sound better in the CSS version, then I may just have to go ahead and buy one myself. As you can tell, this is a hobby that costs money, so it's not for the faint of heart. But if you love music, this is something that's definitely fun to do. Okay, so I found a good track on that's YouTube safe, so I can play it here and everybody can listen to it. Again, I don't know how good this is going to be, but we are going to go through with the basic, sorry, I don't want to say basic, the standard P215 that CSS built, the 215 that I built, and then we're going to upgrade the 215 that CSS built. I keep wanting to say CES. We'll upgrade the 215 that CSS built with the audiophile grade crossover. So let's take a listen to this. Okay, so this may be completely pointless from your point of view where you're listening. However, I'm listening, and if anything, at least this documents that I did play the music with the 3 different setups. And but anyway, let's see if you can hear a difference. We're going to play the same track. Now, the Barnwood speakers have been connected. Alright, so we have hooked up the audiophile crossovers, and we're going to now try to do an A/B test with the high fidelity or the audiophile crossovers and the CSS built 215 speakers, and then we'll just compare them to the speakers I built and try to determine whether we think there is a noticeable improvement or at least change in sound. I was told by the people at CSS that it is subtle but noticeable, and they said that some people who heard it just absolutely said they had to have it, and others who heard it said, I'm pretty good with the 215. They're not saying that one is guaranteed going to blow your socks off, which is one of the things I like about CSS. They let you decide what's right for you. So anyway, I appreciate them sending me this so I can determine whether I want to upgrade the crossovers in the speakers that I built. And now the final test. And, you know, I just realized my cuckoo clock, which is in this room, has been on, but I've been playing it loud enough where it drowns it out. So we'll just leave it on for this test as well. So here we go with the audiophile crossovers. All right, so we've listened to these speakers. When I say we, myself and my daughters and my wife have listened to all these speakers, the ones that I've built, the ones that CSS built, and we've compared them with the audiophile crossovers versus the standard crossover. So let's take a look at the audiophile crossover. You can see it's significantly different than the standard crossover. A little bit more expensive too. I think it's actually about either $350 or $400 more. I don't quote me on that, but it is definitely on that order. And I did hear an improvement. Where I heard the improvement was in the high frequency. Also, I compared the Audiophile versus my speakers that have the standard crossover, and that's really where I heard the high frequency. And it could have been because of the way I built it, or my cabinet is a little bit different than their cabinet, although, you know, you follow the same instructions as far as dimensions and everything goes. But there's little things that go on the inside that could account for the difference. Anyway, yes, I did hear an improvement, and no, I'm not gonna buy them. And the reason being is the speakers that I have sound really good. And the improvement in quality, while I can tell, I can hear it, when I'm not comparing them side by side, you know, I'm not going to miss it that much. But instead, what I'm going to do with the money is I am going to buy the next kit from CSS. It's the 2TD. And I believe that speaker is a little bit bigger. And what I'm reading about it is that speaker actually will sound better than the 215 with the Audiophile crossover. And one of the benefits of these speakers here is their smaller footprint. So if you want that really high quality audio, you can get these pre-built with the Audiophile crossover, and you could have it in a smaller footprint. I'm going to go with the other speaker. It's a little bit bigger footprint. I believe it's going to be about 8 inches taller than this one. So it is a little, like I said, a little bit bigger. And I think I will get, based on what I'm reading and talking to the guys, something that sounds as good as these do. And I don't want to say anything is better or worse, because it's all really good. And it's just a matter of what's important to you. And so, bottom line, if you want the absolute highest quality, what I'm going to suggest is get the 215 with the Audiophile grade crossover. If you want a very high quality and still what I would call audiophile, go with the standard one. And if you can tolerate a little bit of space, not space, but if you can accommodate a larger form factor speaker, then maybe go with the 2TD. I will be building those in the near future and creating a video on that with a review in the future. So thank you so much for watching this video. Your support means a lot to us, and you can support us in a couple of ways. You can go to patreon.com/HDTVpodcast and support us by becoming a patron of our podcast. And any little bit you give helps out dramatically. You can also go to our website, htguys.com, and we have a buy us a cup of coffee metaphor. It's a PayPal donation. You can click on one of the sizes there and buy us a cup of coffee, and that helps out as well. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to say like, subscribe, and share. I'm so not used to saying that, but anyway, maybe I'll turn into a YouTuber some point. All right, thank you so much for watching.